Black Lake is forcing their women and children to get the job.
We have the Northern Territory government force vaccinating our people.
They've run into the bush with their children to stay away from this job.
You have no business locking them up in that schools.
Bill Gates, get the frick
You have
out
no
of Canada.
business locking them up in those gyms and forcing that poison on their bodies.
This is a war crime. This is a crime against humanity.
From 11 upwards, right? They're being held down and vaccinated. There's a state of emergency here. Everybody, I'm calling out a cry for help to the world to please help us to come in here, stop this crimes against humanity. It's war crimes against our people.
And this has got to stop. This has got to stop now.
Yes. It has got to stop. This is a genocide. And the only reason we weren't as bad off as Australia and Canada is because we have the Second Amendment. In the 1970s, they released the swine flu vaccine, killed 28, 29 people, they yanked it the hell off the shelves. We're into the tens of thousands of deaths by the government's count. And they're nowhere near pulling this vaccine. Pfizer went into court and said, Your Honor, our vaccine is so safe and effective, and we're so proud of it, that we don't think we should have to release the documentation behind it for 75 years. I got into Yale Law School when I was 17 because I skipped high school. I was working for the best and brightest law firms and corporate clients in the world from the time I should have been in a sorority at 21. I've been doing this 30 damn years, and I had never once walked into court and said, Your Honor, my documents, my client's documents are so important that we need to not release them for 3/4 of a century until you're dead, I'm dead, opposing counsel's dead, and all of our children are dead. Right? You don't need the initials behind your name to figure this out. You need the common sense of a kid about that age. So luckily the judge overruled them and said, you're going to be releasing 55,000 pages a month. And what did we find in there? Well, just what Taryn said, who introduced me. My numbers were a little different than hers. I'll give you my numbers, but they were close enough. 270 women got pregnant against the advice of Pfizer during the clinical trial. They lost track of 234 of them. I am here to tell you, as an environmental lawyer, you don't lose track of even one person usually in a clinical trial. Certainly not 234 out of 270. That's an 86%. They went missing and we don't know where they went kind of rate. But other ones, they did keep tabs on those 36. They only had 28 where the babies died, like Taryn said. That's a hell of a percentage. If I told you that 77% of people who got a double scoop of Baskin-Robbins Rocky Road tonight were to die, would you be lining up out the door for that? Right? This is a genocide. And we are doing ourselves no favors by calling it anything other than that. This is how we win. We unite. We do grassroots movements. Nobody wins against the power of a people united. Remember that. You vote with your feet, you vote with your dollar, you break the back of the evil corporations that are coming for your kid and my kid. Okay, literally, what? Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch is down 24.5%. Target's losing a freaking billion a day. I made this slide 2 days ago. They were at 12 billion in the first 2 weeks. Now they're at 14. They're still losing a billion. And into the ashes of these evil giants that we bring to heal, we rebuild the country and the institutions that we want to see, the schools, the healthcare, and the shopping platform. The only thing that will bite us in the back, the only way we lose this is if we don't remain united and if we don't believe we can win. And with that, I want to close with this story about winning. There was a big red horse born in 1970 by the name of Secretariat. This horse had a stride that was 24 feet when fully extended. His heart on the autopsy was 3 times the size of the average racehorse's heart. He was known, my friends, for coming from behind. He would let all the other ponies on the field get way ahead of him on the track. The last 5 or 10 seconds of the race, he'd go, Self, I think I want to win today. And he would drop it into overdrive, he'd turn on those afterburners, he would start tearing down that turn, and he would blow by the rest of the field in the last 5 seconds of the race so that he could win. It was a hell of a horse. And in 1973, he had won the first 2 races of the Triple Crown. There was 1 race left, the Belmont Stakes. It's a 1.5 mile race on dirt. Very long race, longest it gets here in America, on turf. It was largely considered to be a match race between him and his best contender, a horse by the name of Sham. And the bell goes off, and the chutes go open, and Secretariat and Sham coming out of that chute are so flippin' hot. They run the first leg of that race, the fastest time ever seen on that track or anywhere. 25 seconds, as it was a world-breaking pace. And you hear Penny Chenery, his owner, Secretariat's owner, who's in the stand, turn to her neighbor and go, "Oh my God, we're gonna lose. He's out in front. My horse never leads from the front, he comes from behind. He cannot sustain this rate." But I am here to tell you that horse ran the first quarter mile at 25 seconds, which was a record-breaking pace. And then he went on to run the next quarter mile even faster, 24 seconds, and then 24 3/5, and then 23 3/5, and then 23 2/5, and then in the final leg, it was 23 flat. He did what is flipping impossible. It would be like a marathoner setting a world record in the first mile and running every consecutive mile even faster. As he broke for the finish line, he was still accelerating. And you hear Chick Anderson. At the end of the race, the 2 horses have broken away from the pack. You can't even keep them in a wide-angle lens anymore. And you see him zero in on Sham and Secretariat. And then you hear Chick Anderson cue up the mic. And he said, "Oh my God, folks, Secretariat is making his move. He is going down the track. He is blazing down the track. He is setting apart from the rest of the crowd. He is moving like a tremendous machine." And that horse broke the wire with a 31-length lead. It was the fastest time ever recorded on dirt in a record set 50 years ago that still stands to this day. We were all put here for a reason, and just like that horse was put here to run and to win that race, so too I believe I was born to run and win the race we are in. We will lead the devil so damn far back on the track, they won't ever catch our children.